13-Week Theater is supported by Patreon. Subscribe now and get exclusive early access. During World War II, Herbert Klin served in the Army Signal Corps, where he worked with animation companies like United Productions of America on training and propaganda films.
Adolf Hitler, the greatest conqueror of all time. He is the...
One moment, please. Adolf Hitler, pretty good, extend honorable empire, take California, South America, Brooklyn, Europe, take whole world. Take whole world.
After the war, he went to work for UPA full-time and was one of the team that created the studio's most durable creation, Mr. Magoo. In the early 1980s, Klin started thinking that his experiences in animation might make for a good TV show. He partnered with Alan Burns, who had co-created The Munsters and The Mary Tyler Moore Show, among others. Tyler Moore's MTM Productions signed on to the project, which they sold to NBC as a 30-minute sitcom called The Duck Factory. The first actor cast was comedy legend Jack Gilford as animator and director Brooks Carmichael. Actor and writer Jay Tarses, who had written for The Carol Burnett Show, executive produced The Bob Newhart Show, and had recently created the sitcom Buffalo Bill for NBC, was cast as the animation studio's writer Marty Fenneman. And Don Messick was cast as the studio's main voice actor. If you don't recognize Messick's name, you'll recognize his voice, or should I say, voices.
Bing, bing, bing!
This is terrible.
I'm a little boo-boo.
The toughest part to cast turned out to be the show's lead character, young animator Skip Tarkenton. None of the actors the producers looked at seemed right. And then Tarses remembered an actor he'd worked with on Buffalo Bill.
Oh, please, no.
Hey! I don't want that you should be... Oh, the crying is not... Because if laughing would... Well, I don't know. Whoa! Okay, wait. I could be what... The chair is going, so that I would be... I could come back if you... Smile, though your heart...
And that's how Jim Carrey got his first regular starring role. The show's pilot had Skip arriving in Hollywood after being offered a shot at a job by Buddy Winkler, the creator of Dippy Duck. However, Skip's arrival proved to be at a very bad time.
1, 2, 3, whip. Thing with the
Oh, drop it. Hey, I'm okay. I'm fine. Just had a pain in my side. Oh.
What's he got in here? His money?
Something I can do for you?
Well, I'm here to see Mr. Winkler.
Oh. There you go. Oh, easy. Come on, Brooks. Are you okay? I don't know if they'll open it up again just for you. Lift it higher. Try it again.
Sad day, isn't it?
I'll say.
Did you know Buddy Long?
No, I never even met him. See, I sent him some cartoon samples from Duluth, some storyboards and stuff. And he wrote back and said that maybe if I came to Hollywood, he might be able to find some kind of job for me.
And you came all the way out here to find this?
I don't even know where I'm going to stay.
That's tough luck.
On the other hand, compared to Buddy, his luck's pretty good. Of course, then again, old Bud's got a place to stay tonight. He's a writer.
Why was
Eventually, Skip ingratiates himself with the rest of the staff, who quickly recognize his talents.
Nobody animates like you, Mr. Carmichael.
Oh, sure. Lots of people do. And please call me Brooks.
No, I mean it. Look at his tongue swatting flies. He looks demented. Just an idea.
Yeah.
But what if when Sir Thanks-a-Lot is standing there by his horse and Dippy brings him the ladder, Dippy puts it down in the mud and Thanks-a-Lot pushes him aside and climbs up on it. And when he does, it begins to sink into the mud, and Thanks-a-Lot only gets about halfway up on the horse when the saddle comes loose and Thanks-a-Lot spins around and falls off into the mud.
And the horse sees Thanks is blue and thinks it's a flower and sniffs it.
The horse sneezes. Right out of the picture.
And Thanks looks up and sees him coming down, and he knows it's bye-bye time.
Skip talks Buddy Winkler's widow out of selling the studio, and the studio's new manager, Aggie, uses the hotshot new talent she's hired as an excuse to talk the network out of cancellation.
Cancel the show until he's had a chance to show you some of his marvelous proposals. 48 hours? And they say networks are cold and heartless. See you then.
I decided not to sell the studio.
Wise choice.
Who's that guy you're talking about? Yeah, he sounds great.
You better be.
Who is he?
You.
Me.
If you can't pull it off, I'll see to it you never work in this town again. You'll never work anywhere again.
The show's connections to the animation industry made it easy to get cameos from prominent voice actors as well.
Live from the Wilson in North Hollywood, California, it's Beefcake Aerobics.
Of my, well, prodigious acting and singing abilities. Now, I've taken the liberty of bringing along my backup group, the Mallards of Melody.
Hey! Thanks, fellas.
Dippy duck, when footed hero running amok, when evil's lurking, you in luck, 'cause here comes Dippy Duck.
And finally, all the pieces were set in place.
Here comes Dippy Duck.
Most folks think that it's a strange occupation. Some folks call us a deranged aggregation. We can't help it. We're just happy this way.
Mama always wanted me to be your physician.
Dad said he'd rather I become a beautician, but we can't help it. We're just happy this way. 'Cause it sure beats working for a living. It ain't much for living these days. Yeah, it sure beats working for a living. We're just happy this way.
Okay, back to work.
The Duck Factory debuted on NBC at 9:30 on April 12, 1984, right after Cheers. It was a mid-season replacement for, ironically enough, the show that landed Carrey the role, Jay Tarsi's Buffalo Bill. The ratings were not good. One major problem was that, considering the fact that the show involved the creation of animated cartoons, a lot of people assumed it would be lighthearted family fare. Wanting the show to be true to the animation business as Clint remembered it, the show was everything but, and it was put into the 9:30 time slot for a reason.
Why don't you stay in Buddy's siesta room? You won't be using it. Siesta room?
Buddy likes to take a little nap every afternoon.
My grandfather does that.
Not those kind of naps, Skipper.
I'll be a son of a gun.
This is really something else. I've never actually seen a mirror on the ceiling before. Buddy liked to shave in bed.
Had an air conditioner. We're sweating our brains out all summer.
Another drawback was that while most half-hour shows, including the rest of NBC's Thursday night lineup at the time, were sitcoms, The Duck Factory really wasn't. Yes, it had jokes, some of which were pretty well written, but at its heart, it was a drama. In a way, it was very much ahead of its time.
I am over the hill. I haven't got what it takes anymore.
Who told you that?
Buddy, every time I ask for a raise...
He was wrong. You're just as good as you ever were.
I was never that good.
When I was a kid, all I ever wanted to be was another Brooks Carmichael.
You got me confused with somebody else.
No, I don't. Let's for the moment forget the fact that there's unemployment out there. Rampant unemployment. Forget the fact. Remember what it is you do here. All of you. You bring this little guy to millions of people every week, to little kids and sick people and shut-ins. Just for the sake of argument, let's say you can get other jobs. How can you let his fans down?
Oh, you had to bring up shut-ins.
Dramedies weren't as big a thing in 1984 as they would be a few years later, and audiences really didn't know what to do with the show. The show couldn't hold on to Cheers' audience and consistently came in around 65th place in the weekly Nielsen ratings. In June, NBC took a Hail Mary pass and swapped the Duck Factory on the schedule with another underperforming mid-season replacement, Night Court. While Night Court thrived in its new time slot on Thursdays, the Duck Factory didn't fare any better on Wednesday nights. The show was finally canceled on July 11th after the show's initial 13-episode order had been exhausted. After the Duck Factory, Jack Gilford continued to star in supporting roles in films and on TV. Don Messick continued as one of the most in-demand voice actors for cartoons until his death in 1997. Jay Tarses used the lessons he had learned on the Duck Factory when, a few years later, he created one of TV's first truly successful dramedies, The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd. And as for Jim Carrey...
Let's start with a stretch. And down.
The rest is history.
'Cause it sure beats working for a living, but it ain't much for living these days. Yeah, it sure beats working for a living. Well, just happen this way.
Okay, back to work.
Monkey.